I can actually share that with people later. So now I'm recording. So for compounding, right? If you start on $250 account, right? That's the minimum amount for most brokers that have rollover option. So we say 250, going for 8% on the day. And sorry, sending a text, someone didn't get the link. There we go. So 8% a day for 160 days, 100% reinvest rate, including weekends doesn't matter. It's just 160 trading days, right? Could turn into this much. Well, what I want you to understand is there's a certain point that your percentage gets less and less. One thing that people don't recognize that I think is really interesting is once your account hits $10,000, you actually become a full-time trader. Some people don't, or you have the potential, I should say, to become a full-time trader. You can have $10,000 in your account, and every single month, right, every 30 days of trading, if you were to go for, let's say, 4%, every single month you're going to make 22,000. And so now you can pull out 10,000 a month, making chairman 10 money and still growing your account at the same time. And so, that rush to 1 million, that rush to 100,000, it's good, right? It's good to have that wealth and to have that much in capital gains, things like that. But I want people to recognize you can reach 10,000 and have a full-time income. And the reason I want to point that out is because I'm speaking from experience here. It's hard mentally. It's very hard mentally to go from, being, being a person who may have struggled for the 235 to start up to now trying to clear, let's say I have a $10,000 account and I'm still going for 8%, to trying to make $90,000 in a month from having a $10,000 account, because now, by the end of the month, I need to clear $7,500 almost in one night, right? In one trade session. That's a lot to ask. And that's a lot mentally to ask for, right? So I want you guys to break it down. And what you do is when you have the compounding, this is what I do with my team, is that, I start everyone off the same thing, right? 250. I always say, hey, anywhere from 5 to 12%. 12 is if you're like, if I don't compound this account, I'm getting evicted, go for 12. But you're only going to go for 12% for 1 month. 5% being like, I got all the time in the world. So the happy medium is always 7 to 8%. So let's say that we go for the 7%, right? Most say 7. And I go, all right, so in 30 days, you turn 250 into 1,900. And you take your first withdrawal, right? Just to show yourself that it's real, right? It doesn't have to be a full-time income withdrawal, but just to show yourself, hey, what I'm doing is real money that I'm making in the market and bringing back for myself, right? So maybe you pay for your monthly subscription with it, right? You make the withdrawal and you pay for your subscription. And now let's say you pull out 400. So now you have 1,500 left and you lower this to 6%, right? Just to lower it to 6%, so 1% less a day. Now you're already looking at, now you got 8,000 in your account, right? $8,000 in your account. Some people will lower it to 4%, 5%. I would probably do 6, right? So 6% for 8,000 in your account. Now you made $7,000 in 1 month. That could be 2 months in. I mean, if you're starting fresh, that's 2 months of fresh start trading, right? Things like that. But now you've made $7,000. You could do the same thing. All right, now I'm going to pull out 1,000 for myself, right? P1000 money, right? That you made in a month. Same difference. So now you've got 7,600, 7,500. And if you go from 7,500 and you just go for 4% from there, you've already passed that $10,000 a month mark, right? You're already a full-time trader. You can actually become a full-time trader in 3 months, given that you follow directions, you have good discipline, right? You follow this trading plan, you watch your educators, you learn the markets, you master hourglass, you master analysis. It takes 3 months of consistently compounding your account the right way for you to reach a status of a full-time trader. That's why people that have $100,000 accounts can look like they're millionaires. You only need $100,000 to your name to look like you're a millionaire. You only need 10 million to look like you're a billionaire. Things don't cost as much as they really look. It's all credit, that's a whole other conversation. But basically what I'm trying to say is once you get to this amount, you're done. You could even have gone for 2% at that point and still hit that $13,000 mark, right? Pulled out 3K. Now you got a $10,000 account. You keep trading, month to month, and your account is still going to grow, right? Because you're not realistically, if anyone could give me a legitimate reason why you would go from making, let's say you make your average American income about like 3,000 to 5,000 a month, something like that. And now all of a sudden you're trying to go from making 3 to 5,000 a month to withdrawing 50,000 a month in 4 months. Like there's no logical reason for you to do that. But people will spend so much time chasing that they'll actually blow their account more, because that's where greed comes in. You know what I mean? Ask yourself, 3 months ago, was I in a position of being able to do what I'm doing now? If you weren't, or even if you were, 3 years ago you weren't, right? So there's no point in rushing and trying to turn something into a 2 month process or a 1 month process of becoming a millionaire in 3 months. It's not a get rich quick. It's a get rich, but it's not a get rich quick, right? So it's important to take your time, and it actually will help your psychology, your trading psychology. It's easier to walk away. It's easier to make your money, right? It's easier to just stay consistent. It's easier to keep an account growing and keep an account healthy when you just are patient with it. So I wanted to go into detail with that. So basically all I did, right, 250 at 8%, 30 days, 2,500, right? I think I did 7% actually. 250 at 7%. Yeah. Then I turned it into 1,500. I could drop it down to 4, 5, 6%. Let's say 5% this time, 6,000, right? Then I pull out, 1,400, 5,000 in my account, 5% again, 21K, 5,000, 4%, 16K, right? So there's so many different ways for you to reach this goal. I want everyone's first goal is to be 10,000. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but I just showed you what 10,000 a month can actually, or what 10,000 in your account can actually do for you monthly. You can actually triple that, by going for just 3% a day. So let's shoot for that 10K, right? You shoot for 10K and then you shoot for 100K. But if you're going from 250 to 100K, you're forgetting every single milestone along the way. And that makes it harder for you to do, right? So that's for compounding. If that made sense, go ahead, type a 1 in the chat, 1 in the chat, if that makes sense. I'll move on. For sure. All right, cool. So that's the first step, because it doesn't matter how much you're trading if you don't have a compounding plan. So I like to go over this first, because literally, and you make sure that everyone knows this, don't start anyone on trading until they have a compound plan. It's laid out for them. It tells you exactly how much to make every single day, exactly how much your account should look like every single day. And if you follow this, it's there for you, right? So you want to make sure you have your compound plan in place, because if you're just trading, you don't know what you're doing. Now there's no discipline, and without any discipline, you're going to lose it, right? So now the next thing I want to go to is the analysis. And this is something that I really want to get into. I should probably update my card so that this stops giving me ads. But I do want to show you guys this. Now it's the way that I've been marking up the chart recently, just so that I can kind of see better levels in the market, just off of previous zones, off of larger time frames. So for this, you can definitely take notes. If you have TradingView, you can actually open up TradingView and mark along with me, because these are lines that are probably going to be let's see. Sorry. All right, cool. People are still asking me the password. So this is something like, these lines are actually going to be very valid, more than likely for months, but definitely for at least weeks, right? And so these are levels that I care about. Like I see like I got this zone here, and I see this support along here. Like I see all of that, but I like the larger time frames, because the bottom line is that larger time frames will always take precedence over a smaller time frame. That's why you have the double chart analysis, where you can split your chart up. Okay, well, I gotta get my upgrade back, but you can split your chart up and see like a 1 minute and a 15 minute, and you're gonna want to follow what's on the 15 minute, because the larger time frame always has precedence, right? And I really want you, if you're taking notes, write that down, because this is the biggest key to this analysis and to the entire thing I'm gonna go over. Most of it has to do with the fact that larger time frame will always take precedence over smaller time frames, right? Most basic thing to know, because here's why. Let's see. All right, I think these are my markups. Okay, that's for my next thing I'm gonna go over. So the first thing I do, right, and what I actually did at the airport today, I just flew back into town. But basically what I did, I started on the monthly. Because if actually, I'm going to just go to a random one that I don't usually mark so I can do it from the jump. Here we go. All right. So here's how it looks. So let's look at Euro GBP. The first thing you want to do is look at the monthly, but you're going to look at your previous month. And it's the start of the new year. So now you can have your yearly high and your yearly low. And those are going to be very important zones to have as well, right? I actually have mine locked in. So this is January. This is December, right? So I've got my December low right here, my December high right here, right? And you're going to label all of this. I'm very big on organization on my chart. I like to know what line is what. You don't have to label if you don't want to, but this is your first step, right? Having your monthly high and low. Now it's a new month, so you have December high, December low. After January, this one's going to disappear, and you're going to do the same thing for January. So you're always looking at the previous month, and then you're going to look at the year. So I'm looking for, all right, 19 January, right? January started here. So this is my 2020 low right here. This is my 2020 high right here, right? These are important levels. Now you have yearly lows, yearly highs, right? So I've got 2020 low, and I have 2020 high, right? So I have my 2020 low and my 2020 high. From here, right, now I can go into my daily. If I really, really want to, I can mark my previous days, things like that. If you see, it did bounce off of my previous daily low. So it does make sense to do it. I only do it sometimes. I didn't think to really, oh my goodness. I really didn't think to do it this time because it's a new year and a new month and a new day. So I wasn't like too fond of doing that right now. But as you see, it is still respecting that area. It's actually around a zone. I'm looking left and I'm seeing a zone, right? But your first things that you want to have are these markups, right? From here, this is what I do. And I'll have to go back as if it's not January 1st, because this is where I was at previously. I think it was UCAD that I was really doing it on this one session, looking on the 4 hour, right? So now this is how you do your daily. So right now, if you take the time, you want to do that 2020 high, 2020 low, that December high and that December low on, whatever pairs that you usually do. If you know me, these are my 5 pairs. I'm trying to expand into other pairs now just because there's so much volatility on these 5, because Matty Pips is just kind of running it up right now. And so everyone is trading his pairs. That's great. I don't like the spikes. So, I'm expanding, but, I'm going to go back to UCAD. Let's say that I'm here. Let's say I am here. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys. I literally my card, like a new card came in the mail and I haven't switched it over. And so I'm trying to get used to not having pro right now. And it's annoying. I didn't realize how much of this that I use is pro. But it's fine. So let's say we're here. Let's use this vertical line instead, right? What you want to do is actually this probably wouldn't be the best because it wasn't in my zone. Let's see. Something like this would be okay. Yeah, this would be fine. So you can mark up your previous 4 hours, right? This is how I do my markups now. So I mark my previous 4 hours, and so my previous 4 hours is right here. And in this zone, I can mark my highs and my lows. And what you're going to see is that your next 4 hours typically will respond 2020 highs and lows. What else? Your December. So right now it's your December, but you're always going to go to your next month. So right now we're in January, so we're looking at December. February starts, we're going to clear December, we're going to look at January. And you're going to keep doing that. So every single month, preferably the first of the month, you want to be switching over 2 lines, right? So your yearly one should stay, right? And then your 2 lines of like the previous month should always change to the next month. So that's something you want to upkeep. You definitely want to do that, right? And what you're going to see is this is my previous 4 hour. And notice how my next 4 hours are actually responding very similarly off these same zones. We have wicks around the same range. We have highs around the same range, things like that, right? So how this goes is this. If I just take my 4 hour and I mark my, here we go, my 4-hour high, my 4-hour low. Now you're going to see me start doing this on my sessions. I can't necessarily do it today because it is a Sunday and it is a new year and it is a new week and a new month, right? It's a new everything. And that's why I'm not really trying to jump into it. Plus, I really wanted to do this and show you guys, right? But this would be my mark for this, right? It's not straight. Sorry, I'm OCD. There we go, right? So from this range, that would be this area, right? My 4-hour high, my 4-hour low. I make it a temporary line because I'm only going to trade it within that session window. Every single time that I'm in a new session window, I have to go back to that 4-hour and remark that 4-hour high and that 4-hour low. It will respond to other previous ranges, but for me, you're going to see reactions off of that 4-hour time frame that just happened, right? And I'll go more into detail on why that happens as well, and also going into detail on the reversals that happen based off of it, right? But now, if I just have those two areas marked up and I zoom back in, right? This is my previous 4-hour high and my 4-hour low. How many entries was I able to catch just by marking that? All right, so we got one right here. We've got a bunch right here. We've got a bunch right here, right? We have more right here. See how this previous 4 hours, it's just the 4 hours. I'm not looking any further back than 4 hours. I'm sure if I went further back, I could find these ranges, but history repeats itself. So if I can go off of a 4-hour, area, 4-hour range, I can take these next 4 hours worth with it, right? And so, 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas off of this alone, this is between the hours of 7 a.m. all the way to my next, 10 would have been my last one, right? So 10. So here. So this would have been my session time, right? And I'll make a box over it just so you can see, right? If I had woken up and I did it from 6 to 10 would have been my 4-hour window. How many times would I have been able to take a trade off of this level, right? And off of my lows, because down here, we worked all the way down to this range as well, and we did the same exact thing right here, right? So that would have been 1, 2, right? Potentially 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 7, 6 potential entries I could have taken in this 4-hour period off of this one pair, right? Mind you, we're looking at just one pair right here. I could have done the same thing for 5 other pairs or for, however many other pairs, right, that I wanted to do. But I'm looking at just this one. So off of just this one alone, right, just from marking up my 4-hour previous, I'm able to take these entries, right? That doesn't include fib, that doesn't include anything else. That doesn't include hourglass, right? That doesn't include my bands. I didn't even have my bands on. This is all, I didn't even have, right, any indicators on. This was just straight analysis, right? And so just off analysis alone, I had 1, 2, how many entries, right? And it continued on. Later, because we look like we had the same 4-hour highs and lows this time as we did the next one. So I would have taken all these other ones as well, right? So basically what I'm trying to point out is how many times I could have had just free entries off of this. Probably a lot of them aligned with, like this is a 7:15 candle, right? This one isn't a 7 o'clock, but I'm sure that a lot of them probably, this one, a lot of these had to do with the top of the hour reversals. Like this was the top of the hour reversal right here, like this range, these ranges, right? So you have a lot of different things that go into it, but that's your first step, right? You turn on your indicators, you turn on hourglass, whatever, you have a bunch of other trades with it, right? And I'll do it again. I'll mark it up one more time to see I'm not making this up, right? This isn't something I'm making up. So I have my December high, low, all of that. Right now, I'm waiting to see it, it plays off of it. Here, we'll do it right here. I think this is like actually this is December high right here. Okay, for sure. So let's see if I can find another one to be like this one, right? So if I do this again, right? So I did it with the wrong line actually though. My bad. I was saying to do it with your ray so that it's temporary. So that would be this one and this one, right? And so with this, I have my range, make my vertical line, go down to a 5-minute. If I zoom out, I had a fib there for something. Find that range again. It was like December 2nd, right here, right? Zoom in right here. We do the same thing, right? This is my previous 4-hour high and low. I take that. I'm looking here, how many times do we reject? How many times do we reject? We eventually broke below. And this is a whole other thing of a break and retest, because if you saw the break and retest, this is a very clear indication of a retest that we broke below. We wicked up and then we went down. So naturally we will continue down. That's a whole other strategy, but it's given to you there. This is where it gets a little bit unclear, but how many times did you have opportunity for a trade in this range, right? You had 1, 2, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 here. You could have taken this one and lost it, so you'd have been 6 and 1. You take this break retest, you take it down because it rejected off of this. It respected that new resistance. Now you're 7 and 1 in a span of a few hours, right? So it's just going to show your previous 4-hour actually has a lot to do with your trading in the next 4 hours, as does those other markups that I gave. Now, let me see if I can find any of them that may be around these areas. Looks like they're not. That's interesting because they're all gaps, but this would have been nice if it continued down a little bit. We might have been able to make some trades off of that. Same with this, but it looks like all of them are kind of staying away from it. This kind of has a ways to go. So as the days go on, so probably by tomorrow night, right, tomorrow night session, I'll be able to make another markup because I'll be able to do it off of my previous day, off of different 4 hours. But at this moment, we just opened recently. I'm not really going to jump into it. I'm sure if I did, because we have had 4 hours since our previous since our open. So let's see. I'm sure I could take this, but you see how I'm not really around this range. See if there's any that's around the range. Yeah, none of them are really in the range. This might, because we had a open here, right? So we had a 4-hour open here. And so this might be an area that it wants to potentially reject on for a small amount of time. Then I can have my 4-hour high, right? I can have my 4-hour low thus far. Now, whenever it's moving like this, you want to be careful because it can break lower than that, since it is 4-hour, especially considering how close it is to my 2020 low. But this alone should be extremely bullish, just because of the fact that we are on a yearly low that we should be able to come down, reject, and come back up. Probably the reason that this happened. I think this is only like a pip off, 6, 7 pips off. But now we're moving into the other direction, and it should continue to do so. We have this gap, so it should move a bare minimum, right? A bare minimum of 50 to 60 pips in that proper direction. But if I were to take that 4-hour markup, right, my 4-hour lows and highs, and I'm looking at it now, just here, we would have had entries, right? Just here. We're kind of getting around this range now, but we could have gotten up to this point. I could potentially look at a put towards 138, or is that 138? Yeah, 136 range, 136. And I'm sure that if I put on my indicators, yeah, look at that. My indicators show the same exact thing. The top of my band, the absolute top of my band, is that 136 range that I was looking at. If I were to go into currency heat wave, which is my strength meter, I'm looking at USD CAD right now. Wait for this to go. Waiting for this to load. Let's see. USD is weaker than CAD. So in terms of this would be a potentially amazing trade. For this to come up into my band, we would have to cross up and be overbought. So now we're looking at, ready to sell off. We have a cross about to happen here, and we have this cross that's happening here. It's a little bit saturated, but that's because we're in the red right now. If we were to continue to go bullish for a few pips, right, that's going to be about 4 pips, 3 pips, right? 3 pips worth. This can very easily come back up. This would be incredibly overbought. This can be overbought. I can open up Hourglass. It'll probably give me that put option. And now I have how many confirmations giving me the sell, right? And that's a look at kind of how we're going to do it this year, how I'm going to do it this year in terms of taking the trades, and how I would love to see people taking trades. And look, and it's doing that right now. See how I say it could push up. So we might even be able to take this. I wasn't going to jump into something unless it was a very nice trade, but this is looking like a very nice trade, and it's doing it right around that 20. I mean, we have the 945 as the next candle. So I have USD CAD open right now. I'm going to take kind of lighter risk. I wasn't in the biggest mood of trading tonight, but I really did want to get this explanation out. So I have USD CAD open. I'm going to wait. I want to see if it can make this move up to 135. Right now, we're only at 118. So I would much prefer to see that. But in that event, that's something I want to take. Now, for my, whoa, is my screen sharing right now? No, yeah, it's sharing. It wasn't showing. I was like, whoa. Okay, so now with Hourglass, here we go. See, now we've got the put going, right? So we have a put, and that's saying that, hey, in the next minute, Hourglass wants it to go down. This is giving me a put. This changes all the time, though, so it's not the most, trustworthy thing. But I can see this kind of rejecting for a quick second, potentially, and coming up to hit here and then dropping. It could also make its drop, come up, and then by the time 10 o'clock hits, give me that reversal, top of the hour reversal off of this range, which would also make a lot of sense, right? So there's a couple of different ways I can enter it. It looks like if I did take that put just from Hourglass alone, it would be in profit, but I don't like this. I'm more trusting of this, right? This doesn't give me much. This gives me a zone that was previously here that we've already pushed above a little bit, right? This was my previous zone. We've pushed above it already. My bands are up here. This is saying to buy, right? This is crossing for a sell, but this is saying to buy, right? This isn't necessarily the clearest of things, right? Hourglass says it, yeah, that's fine. But you see, look at that. It is spiked right back up right now, right? So now I'm in one of those trades that I'm kind of unsure, right? So to make sure that I'm safe, make sure that I'm comfortable with what I'm taking, I'm just gonna take the extra time, be a little bit more patient. Look, that put that was there went away, right? This is why you can't always trust your indicators so much. You want to make sure that you have your actual analysis. You want to know the reason why you're taking something. If someone said, "Why did you take that?" you should be able to take it. Like for me, I have such a strong analysis on my things that when something doesn't win, I'm genuinely confused, right? People who've been in my call, you've seen it, where I'll be like, I don't know why that didn't clear. Like there's no reason, because that's how clear of indications I look for, off of indicators, off of my strategies, and off of my analysis, right? And each one of those give me like three confirmations each, right? So they're very safe trades, right? Like you want to be so sure in your trades that every single time you lose, you're like, bro, no, it wasn't me. It was the market, right? It's very, like, even me, like, it's very rare that a losing trade is going to be like just way off. I think that happened the other day, where it was like a top of the hour when I just didn't see it, but everything else was there. And I was like, oh, I caught on later. But it shouldn't be like something that you're way off of, because if you're doing the same thing consistently, you should be able to master that trade, master that skill, and be able to consistently find the trade. Every single pair is the same. It's the same candle. It's either bullish or bearish. It's a wick or it's a knot, right? So it's like, it shouldn't be rocket science. It really doesn't have to, right? Now, this is something I would 100% wait on if it was a normal session. I would just chill, wait, explain something else, wait for it to get there, set an alarm for it. I can set an alert for it right now so that we can take it in the event that it comes up to here. But this is the trade I want to see. This would be the trade I want to see, So I have that alert set, but I'm going to keep it pushing for right now. All right, just so we're keeping it going. Oh, look at that. Hang on. It just wicked up to it. It just wicked up to 133 for like a second. It's gonna, wow. I wasn't expecting that. There you go. All right. So from here, I am going to take that. I'm going to take it. We got a minute left, 139. I'm going to give it to that next second. All right. So I'm taking it right here at 137, right? So I took it 137, 3-minute put. And we're starting to reject. The reason why I did it off of I waited for that last second is just because you also have your 1 minute candle. And so we may have rejected. Actually, I didn't notice. We actually barely crossed above it, and that's why it's coming up a little bit. That's okay, because we have a 3 minute trade. If need be, we can roll over. I'd rather not, but it's dropping a profit now, so we look like we're doing okay. And then in that next 30 seconds, it's going to open. It's going to give me that put again, and then we should be able to clear it. So did anyone get into that, into UCAD on that 3 minute put? If you did, let me know what entry you got. 1.2, 138 for sure. I'm going to roll it real quick just to be sure. Because it didn't give me a full 3 minutes. It gave me like a minute and a half. Kind of sucks. If you got the full 3 minute, you may not have to roll over, but 142, even better. But now, all right, there we go. So now we've got the start of the new candle. Now we should really start seeing it drop off pretty nicely. I'm sure if I look at Hourglass, yep, it's going to give me that put again. Now you see the difference. Now, rather than me waiting for Hourglass to tell me and I'm saying, oh, Hourglass has put, I'm saying, hey, I'm expecting a put, right? You want to see it coming. There you go. Oh, yeah, it's dropping now. It's dropping. It's gone. So now you see in real time. I wasn't lying to you. You mark up your previous 4 hour and the market's going to continue to respond off of that zone. It's gone, right? It's gone. Sheesh, right? I'm just looking at it off my broker like it's, now potential little bit of a reverse right here, a little bit of a drawback right here just because I have this previous open here and a little bit of like liquidity in this range. I don't think it's going to really be an issue because this is an actual different zone. And if it were to do that, then I would just take it to the upside after that, right? But in terms of that, if you didn't roll over, you should be clearing or like right around now. I had to roll. They gave me a minute and a half, right? Want to know clear the accuracy? Let's go. Let's go. I'm glad to see it, right? So that's what I was talking about. So it doesn't have to be the hardest thing in the world. That took 2 lines. I use indicators as confirmation, but even if I didn't have the indicators, I would have still taken it here. I literally would have still taken it because I'm looking at this range right here. That's literally it. I may have been a little bit off. This actually may have been it right here. Just looking at it, but it's fine. Whatever, right? I would have taken it here. I'd have still been in profit. That's why you see like Evan Cabral, he doesn't have Bollinger Bands on there. It just, it's crossing. I'm going to turn that alert off now. Delete that alert. I don't need it anymore, right? But right now, we're chilling in profit, right? Bagged. Let's go. Bagged, right? So it's literally as easy as that. It took 2 lines. I had extra confirmation from my indicator, sure, right? But I was literally, it felt like I was telling the market what to do. I was like, hey, this should happen, and then this should happen. Like from down here, right? I was down here saying, I want to see it push up, then I want to see it reverse and come down. That's gonna make this start to cross. That's gonna make this come to the upside just because I'm seeing that we're pushing up. That would make Hourglass say put. All of that happen, and now we're in profit, right? And it should be that easy every time. Cleared. Let's go, right? Just like that, right? So enough said with that. But yeah, and it's still going. We have 2 minutes left. It's completely bearish right now. These last 2 minutes isn't going to make it reverse. This is a 100% bearish candle. It's bearish engulfing. It's probably going to continue to the downside. And that's off a different thing. But we have 2 minutes left. It's engulfing this one. We're going to the downside. And if we come below here and we close below here, we're probably just going to continue down to at least midway through, like 50% of this long candle before we come back up. That's a whole other thing. It's really not a trade night like that for me. So I'm not going to do all that with y'all, but everyone did clear right now. And that's what matters. So you start with 4 hour, then go down. So you start with, you want to start with your daily, but I can't really do it because it's a Sunday. So it's a little bit different on a Sunday. But on a Monday, on a Tuesday, all the way through, it's fine. You just do your daily. But yeah, you actually want to do your daily open, your daily close, daily high, and daily low, right? And when you do that, then you go into your 4 hour, right? You look at your previous 4 hour, and then you mark that just with this temporary ray, right? And it's always temporary because 10 hours from now, this won't matter, right? Because I'll be in a whole different range. This is even straight. Good thing we were looking at the top, right? But it's just this range, because then that limits me. This is within this session, right? Within this session, right? And so from here, you know, you just keep doing it. I could have done this on, I did it on this. I could take it again if it comes back up. It's still gonna be valid, right? I could do it on Euro USD, UJ. I could do it on anything. I could even do it on any of these, right? It's endless. So in terms of that, where this gives you the advantages, you know how sometimes you're using Hourglass and it's just not the time of day for these pairs, because different pairs move at different times of the day better, right? So with this markup, it's valid on everything. So I can literally just rinse and repeat the same thing, which I've done. I'll just rinse and repeat it on pairs I don't even really trade like that. See, right? I got this, and literally whatever one that is actually around that range is going to be the one that I look at. And so now I always have something I can be trading, because there's no way you're going to look through all these and not see a single thing in that range. Now it might be tedious. You got to do that same markup, you know, 20 times, 30 times, but the more you do it, the better you're going to be at it. Right. And now look, it's like I said, continuing to the downside because we actually didn't even close below it, but we still continue the downside. That's interesting. But I said it was going to do that. So if you took that again, you actually would have been profit. Yeah, you'd have been in profit again, but it's cool. So now the last thing that I want to point out, because it's almost like the end of my hour that I like to give myself, right? Is, and I'll go on a different pair and show you this, is now your top of the hour. I want to go really in depth with top of the hour real quick. So top of the hour is basically saying that at every hour of the day, right, each hour of the day, you're going to want to take, you know, that trade for the reversal. So I'm just going to go, I'm not looking at anything. I'm just looking at the time and marking it. Oh, yikes. All right. I'm just doing it a little bit just so we can back test it, right? We can back test it. All right. So I'm looking at the last, 6 hours, right? Last 6 hours. How many times did we see reversal? Right here? No, right? Right here, we did not see reversal. That's fine. That's okay, right? Right here, no, we see a continuation, not a reversal. Right here, yes, we see a reversal, right? We see a reversal right here. Right here, nope, continuation, right? That's a continuation. So what I'm saying when I'm saying like continuation versus reversal is a continuation is this was red, this is red, right? This was green, this is green, right? Going up and going up. You want to see a reversal saying this was red, this was green. That's a reversal. That's saying it went from going down to going up. And so all you had to do was just press the button, right? Just press the button, and that was it, right? Just to see the trade. This one, yes, I saw a reversal, right? So I got reversals, right? Then I got right here, no, right? Right here is a no. Okay, so based on this, if I just went, set an alarm every hour, and I just press the button, I would go 2 and 4, right? Something I want to point out to you, something that I realized that's pretty cool is, let me see, because I marked this on one of these so I could show you. So let me see. I think it's this one, Euro USD. All right, is it this? Yes. All right, this is what I want to show you. Remember I said larger time frame has precedence over smaller time frame, right? So if larger time frame has precedence over smaller time frame, why does the hourly reversal work? It's because it's top of the hour. Now, when you have a top of the hour reversal, you're looking at a 1 hour reversal, a 2 or 30-minute reversal, a 15-minute reversal, 5-minute, and a 1 minute. I want to point something out. If there are 6 times of the day, right, 3 specific hours, to really, really look for a reversal is 3 times. I was talking about this. I did a random session last week, and I was explaining to some people. So for y'all who were there, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you just look for these 3 times, 2, 6, 10 PST, write those down. If you're on the Pacific, 2-6-10. If you're on whatever time, convert it, right? But 2-6-10 PST. Here's why. The market opens and closes, right? 2. So we're not looking at our daily. We have to look at another session's daily, right? Because the market opens 2 p.m. on Sundays for us, right? I'm in Vegas. I'm in the West Coast, right? 2 p.m. Market closes for the weekend, Friday, 2 p.m. So that means my day is not midnight to midnight. That's the middle of the day for someone else, right? My day should actually be 2 a.m. to 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. to 2 p.m., right? So if I'm going from 2 p.m. to 2 p.m., those are my key 4 hours: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Now, when I'm doing that, I'm looking at daily reversals, 4-hour reversals, right? 2-hour reversals, 45-minute reversals, 1-hour reversals, 15-minute, 3-minute reversals, and 1-minute reversals, and 5, right? How many more reversals am I looking at within 4 hours versus just 1, right? And I'll show you like this. This is what I mean by that. If I'm looking at my daily, it doesn't matter. I need something with like no drawings. Jeez, I draw on everything. Jesus Christ. I really mark up everything. It's kind of a hassle. Is there anything all right. Whatever. I just need it. Okay, this is fine. All right. So I just need to show you this, my time frame, right? So in my day, I've got 15 hours left, almost 16 hours. This is actually top of the hour. It's 10 o'clock. This is actually a perfect time for reversal. I may have missed it. Let me see. Because it's actually 10 o'clock, so we might see it in real time. This one's giving me a continuation. Fine. Continue. This one actually, wait, what? How is it 3 minutes? Oh, it's 10:01. It came down to this range, but it's rejecting off this range for UCAD, that call. So that's why it gave me that. Because it was close enough that the reversal is still gonna like happen, but it's giving me right here. So for UCAD, if I wanted, I mean, you could take it if you want. Oh, I wouldn't. That just tanked right there. All right, so it didn't happen right there. That's fine. But here, right here, it happened here. It's happening here, very strong. Right here, not so much. Right, so we'll look at these two. That's just to show you that example I was talking about. It's actually 10 o'clock, right? It's 10 o'clock. Now, like I said, I'm not too fond of jumping into trades on Sundays because it's a Sunday. But if you entered your EuroCAD, you've been in crazy profit. If you entered UJ, not crazy profit, but you would be in profit. UCAD, I don't know what just happened to UCAD right there. That was kind of crazy. This one's just kind of dojiing. So I think of the next one, it's actually going to give me that move down. It actually is coming down now. There we go. It's gone bearish now. So it took a second, but it is coming bearish. Right, so now I'm looking at reversals. This one, I don't know what the heck that was all about, but it's all good. Right, so now we have three pairs that are actually doing it. Four out of 5. So 80% of them are actually making that reversal to this point. Right, so, and it's 10 o'clock, right? So you're more likely, basically what I'm saying is you're more likely to see that reversal at those 3 times because of the market structure and market timing, right? Market timing. 2 o'clock is when the market opens and closes, realistically. And so we have to kind of base our day around that. Midnight for us is not midnight for them. Plus, it's not about midnight, it's about 5 p.m., right? 5 p.m. and whatever time, right? So in terms of that, you want to just keep that in consideration. And what I did was the other day, this was actually the day that I was doing all that, where I was in the session and I marked it and I was showing everyone, look, this is at 2, right? So 2 o'clock, strong reversal. Look at this. Look at that. Crazy reversal, right? 6 o'clock, crazy. Look at this. Do you know how deep of profit that you would be in? I moved 8 pips in 5 minutes, right? And then the same thing happened here. It wasn't as massive, but 10 o'clock, reversal. 2 o'clock, reversal, right? I think 6 o'clock, I wasn't there. I didn't think that I was packing up, so I didn't see it. But 6 o'clock, shot up. It was 6:05, but same difference, right? Because remember, we said it can happen a little bit before, a little bit after. So 6 o'clock, boom, push up, right? 10 o'clock. Where's 10 o'clock? Right here. 10 o'clock, we missed it here. Okay, so we missed one, but we caught 6, we caught 7, right? And you can do that throughout the day. You just come back around those times of the day and you're going to catch that reversal. And that's something I really, really wanted to point out, is that if you want to do top of the hour, do it, right? It's amazing to do. But if there's any time that I could recommend it, it would be those times, right? It would be 2, 6, and 10, right? 2, 6, and 10. So you want to make sure you have that, like, you know it, like, know that that's the time to do it. Because I'm serious, it's like half the time it's like free money. Like, it's a Sunday, so it's like a little bit weird, but typically like free money. So it's something that I definitely like to recommend. This, if this comes back up, like, to here, look how it's like kind of pushing. I'm not going to take it because it kind of moved a little bit in a way that I don't like, but it should actually open bullish, but it kind of closed below it, so it could come up. But if that made sense though, that reversal strategy, right? So 2, 6, and 10, if that made sense, you understand why I'm saying that those are the most important times. Type a 2 in the chat. Type a 2. Let me know that I'm making sense to y'all. I'm not sounding crazy. Okay. For sure. Because this is the thing. We looked at Hourglass once as an extra confirmation, but not once did we rely on Hourglass. That's my point. I don't want anyone relying on Hourglass like that. I love Hourglass. It's amazing, right? I love it. It's not, that's not sufficient trading though. That's someone else's mind being given to you at your convenience, but you really, really want to make sure that you have trading for yourself, right? That's the point of being a trader, right? If you, and I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or anything. I'm being serious. How many times have people gone in the chat and be like, is Hourglass down, right? How many times have people been like, man, I can't get onto Maddie's call when he does a Zoom call. All the calls maxed out. You got to stop relying on someone else. If you can only take a trade because of an arrow, I'm happy. You're still making money. Amazing. But you're a professional signal taker. I'm sorry. Like, and it sounds mean, but it's true. If you only can take a call or a put because it says take a call or take the put and you don't know anything else, it's an amazing product, but that's not the end goal. You're a professional, indicator taker, you're a professional signal taker, but that's not self-sufficiency, because, you never know. Hourglass could be down. Or the other day, I tried to join Maddie's session. I was so mad. I couldn't trade with Maddie because there was 110,000 people. And so he would say to take a trade. And as soon as I would take the trade, it would go from a calm thing to spiking just because so many people were taking it. And now it's luck of the draw. And that's not something, I don't like to play with my money, right? I'm going to imagine that no one else wants to play with their money, right? And so in terms of that, look how this went up. Nice. So in terms of that, you want to make sure you're self-sufficient so that you don't have to just trade with the educators, because HFX is growing. It's amazing, but this is real talk. HFX is growing, and we're growing faster than the brokers can handle. And that's amazing. That's a good movement, but don't let yourself get stuck in this loophole of like your account is stuck in this certain number because you can't do it on your own. You have to take it when the educator does, because if you are only taking it when an educator does and you're taking a trade with 80,000 people and 90,000 people, now you're it's not a gamble because it's still analyzed for you, but it's a gamble in the sense that they will spike you. Every single trade that I have taken with an educator recently has been spiky. It's for a good reason. It's because we're all learning, right? Everyone's learning together, but that's not going to get you to 6 figures. That's not what's going to get you the wealth. Spikes, being spiked out every now and then, where Matty Pips clears it, but you don't because, he took it 2 seconds earlier since he's the educator. That's not going to get you to wealth, right? If we're all here for generational wealth means what you did, you can also teach someone else how to retain that wealth. So are you going to teach your future children or your children's children? Are you going to teach them how to trade, or are you going to teach them how to take an arrow, right? That's the point of me being here. That's real talk. If I hurt someone's feelings, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to apologize, because if it hurts your feelings, you probably need to hear it. So sit on it. You know, I had to tell myself that, you know, anyone, literally, you could probably ask Nick. Nick's in here. You could ask him. He might say it just since I'm talking about it. Maybe he'll mention it in his call tonight. But like, you know, that's a reality that you have to face to go from being a listener to being a trader, right? And being a trader, that's the 1%, right? The 1% is a trader, is an investor, right? So that's where that comes from. So I really want you guys to, you know, to make sure that you're practicing this and make sure you're taking it seriously. Like, not just from me, take it from Nick, take it from Maddie. He still marks up. Watch Evan. Evan's amazing. Evan does markups. He does. I learned this from Evan. You know what I mean? I added that 4 hour to myself because it's a realization I had. But maybe you're gonna see this and add something on your own as well. You know what I mean? So it's something to just keep in consideration. Um, and then the last thing I want to talk about, it goes back to risk management and it goes back to the educators. Be careful with how many educators that you're actually watching. Okay? This isn't something I had to deal with when I joined. There was only it was only Ness, Evan, and Maddie. That was it. That was it. I was watching Millie on Zoom at like, she's going like 2 p.m. And I think Leo was also on Zoom. Leo was funny as heck on Zoom, you know? And so I didn't have this issue of having so many educators. It's great to have as many educators as we have, and we want more, right? And we will have more. It's gonna happen. And that's even better, because then we can separate the viewership a little bit. Maybe we won't see as much of that broker issue, right? But what I'm trying to say is this: when I didn't have that many, Maddie had, I think he had like 30,000, not even 30, he had like 16,000 people in the session. That's not going to mess up the market, right? That's not going to make the market fluctuate like that. Um, you know, I had more time to learn, I had more time to watch, and my accuracy was based off of 3 educators. I didn't even watch Ness because at the time he was trading spikes and I didn't get it, and so I would lose, and so I couldn't watch Ness because I was like, he's too much, I'm overwhelmed. So I was watching Evan, I was watching Maddie, right? And so watching 2 people, that's how you stabilize your percentage. Because understand this: every single educator on HFX is at least 80% accurate. I think the minimum is 70 something, but I think it's like 74. But every single one of them are 80% accurate or higher. But this is the thing: just because they're all 80% doesn't mean you're going to be 80%. And the reason for that is because, you know, let's say Evan's 80%, Maddie's 80%. They don't really do trades live. DL's 80% and Arlo's 80%. Now, Evan had an off day on Monday, but he's still 80% accurate because he traded Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Maddie is 80%, but he had his off day on Sunday. But, you know, he traded fine Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And so now you have different off days for different educators. But you caught every single off day because you were watching every single educator. So now they're finishing 80%, and you're going, well, why am I losing money when the educators are making money? And I see that happen all the time as well, where people will be like, something's not right because I'm losing and they're growing. Like, I was watching Maddie when he had, you know, 3 million in his account. His account has more than doubled now, but somehow my account is down. Well, because are you just watching Maddie, or are you watching Maddie and Evan and Ness and DL and Arlet and Leo? Some people will watch like 8 educators. They watch more educators than there are on a day. Fine, right? Fine. If you're going to do that, you can separate your accounts, or you could do something to figure it out, but you can't just delegate all these educators to one account. Otherwise, you're going to be thrown off and your progress is going to be thrown off, because let's see, like Evan and Maddie go live the same day, you know, this day. But if I hit who goes live first? Evan goes live first. So if I watch Evan's session first and then I hit my loss for the day before Maddie goes live, I hit my loss for the day. I'm like, I'm done for the day. Now Maddie goes and has an amazing session, but I missed it because I was done because Evan lost, right? And so then the next day, I watch Evan, I make it back, fine, right? But now I'm back where I started, but Maddie's at a higher number in his account. That's a loop people get in. So you want to just make sure when you're watching your educators, just be very careful about how you're doing that. You just want to make sure that you're not overdoing it. Over leveraging also comes in the form of watching too many educators. It does. And it's not something that people talk about, because the idea is like, yes, watch all the educators. You can watch but not trade. You can do that. And that takes a whole other kind of discipline in psychology, to watch someone be clearing and you not taking it. But if you can do that, do it. I do it. I'll watch Ness and not take his trades. The only ones whose trades I actually take is going to be Evan and Maddie. And I don't take half of Maddie's trades anymore, because, man, too many people watch him, And that's fine. He's doing great, right? But it's risk management for me, right? That's all part of my risk management. That means I have to watch DL clear. I got to watch Arlet clear. I got to watch everyone go in the chat 6-0 with Arlet. And I watched them all go 6-0, but I didn't take a single one, not knowing whether or not I'm going to go 4-0 with Evan or 0-2 with Evan. But I'm watching everyone else win. But it's a different kind of psychology that it takes. But in doing that, you're protecting yourself more than you're hurting. Because if you overtrade, right? If you overtrade, all this is for nothing. It doesn't matter if you make $1 million in the market if you have no discipline, because all it takes is one bad day and you can blow it. Or you can build up your account healthily to 100K, lose your 2% for the day, and still have $98,000 left. So would you rather make $1 million for 5 minutes and lose it because you have no discipline? Or would you rather retain your money and continue to grow your wealth the right way? Right? That's the question you want to ask yourself. And that's also the big difference between a trader and a signal taker, a trader and an inactive customer, right? Someone who goes inactive, a trader and, oh, this is a scam. But it couldn't be a scam, because we have so many people that are having the success. The only difference is you, right? It's always going to have to come down to yourself, right? If all of what I said made sense, type a 1 in the chat. I'm going to end it from right here. But if that made sense, for sure. Can we get this recording? Of course. Yeah, I got that recording. It's my first time recording, so I'm not sure how it's going to go. I think it has to compress. Once it compresses, I'll make sure I drop it. I'll pin it into my Telegram, and then I'm going to put it into the LBD HFX Telegram. And then if they want to pin it, they can, but it'll be in the files. But yeah, that's it for me. I will go ahead and link my my Instagram. I had 700. Oh, I got back to 700. I had 700. I dropped down. So I was trying to plug it, but that's my Instagram. You can follow me there. So our official is 1-0 for the night. I also wanted to say, shout out to anyone who's been rocking with me. We finished October 89%. We finished November 91%. And we finished out December. It was cut short for me, but off of the trades that we did take, we finished 93%. So we averaged about 91.5% accuracy for the 3 months that I have been doing this. So my plan is to continue that 90% or higher. I would love to have a 100% month. That's my goal. But as of right now, we're averaging 90%. So everyone who's been rocking with me, we're rocking. You know what I mean? We got it. And we're going to keep doing that. And I'm going to keep on training. If y'all want me to do a training for your specific team, you let me know. I will do it. Let me know. Just reach out. We'll set it up. If you want to just keep plugging into the sessions, all that. But I wanna help generate more educators. I'm sure that Nick feels the same. I think Jared's been running calls recently as well. That's my vision, is to have LBD marathons, right? So that we don't, we can keep it in. It's not something of us versus them, but you want to see your own team win, right? And that's something that I want to do. But on that note, I know Nick said he's going to be live. Shout out to Nick. Y'all, everyone who's in here has to have been in Nick's session at least once. If you haven't, you're crazy. Where's the video going to be? It's going to be on Telegram. I'll drop it on Telegram. I might upload it. Maybe I'll upload it to YouTube and then drop that link for it, just so that it's there. HFX. Yeah, HFX group chat, the LBD HFX, and also into my Telegram. But I'm going to end it right here. I'll be live again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Tomorrow, we're going to actually jump more into the trades, less than the analysis. I just wanted to do this and make sure I got all this out. Um, and I'll be trying to run some more trainings and stuff like that in the future, just so that I make sure we're all on the same page and we're all actually learning how to be traders. All right, but everybody have a good night. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow night.